Good afternoon, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of AQSA is Calling, a new show launched on ITV Networks, which we started yesterday in order to continue to bring the awareness of what is happening in the state of Palestine and, of course, the surroundings of Masjid al-Aqsa and Sheikh al-Jarrah. Of course, it's not just Sheikh al-Jarrah that is now being affected. We just saw over the last 48 hours that the IDF have continuously bombed cities and in Gaza. So it just continues to exacerbate. And we are hoping, of course, to get Imam Ahmad from Gaza. I know that there's been a lot of technical difficulties due to the blockade that the Israelis have enforced on Gaza and the surrounding cities in order to make sure that no communication goes through, any sort of live communication. But while we are still waiting for Imam Ahmad to come, you can call us on our line there. And of course, just share your thoughts on what is going on right here in Palestine. Now, potentially Eid right here could be tomorrow in South Africa, or it could be on Friday. But whatever the case may be, there is Eid that is going to be happening in the Middle East and specifically in Palestine. And these families have yet again gone through the trauma that they've experienced for close to 80 years. So again, as I said, we're trying to get Imam Ahmad back on Zoom so he can just give us an update on what is going on right there in Gaza. Again, yesterday we spoke to a number of people. We had two marches that happened, one in Cape Town and one in Johannesburg, Yusuf Chikte and Nazim Adams. And of course, they gave us an idea of what is happening. Again, there's going to be another protest that is going to be happening on Saturday. It's going to be courtesy of BDS and, of course, the Palestine Solidarity Alliance. So hopefully, they'll be able to get their memorandum through to the provincial legislature, and they'll be able to go ahead and make the sort of impact that is going to be necessary. So again, we are asking you to call us on our lines there. We're waiting for the number to, of course, come on the screen, and we'll be able to go ahead and just allow you, the viewers, to go ahead and give your thoughts with regards to what is happening right now in Palestine. This potentially is the last day of Ramadan in the Middle East, in Palestine. And again, the citizens, the inhabitants of Palestine are once again going through yet another round of genocide courtesy of the Zionist Israeli regime. So again, this is a very, very testing time for the people of Palestine, and we'll continue to make dua that they'll be able to go ahead and make the necessary impact that they need. So stay tuned to AQSA is Calling. We are going to be taking a break, and inshallah, we'll be hoping to gain Imam Ahmad from Gaza. Do stay tuned. Welcome back to AQSA is Calling. Well, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to cross over to Imam Ahmad from Gaza. Imam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Imam, while we were off air, you were saying currently there is bombs happening. Imam, can you hear me? Just give
I hear you, because there was shelling now beside me.
Yes.
So you may hear the voice of the shelling and the bombs.
Just give an idea to the viewers what is happening now. You're saying at this moment the IDF is continually launching attacks on Gaza City.
Yes, brother. I'm now inside the hospital here. Is a public hospital here in Gaza. And I would like to confirm to all the viewers that situation here on the ground is very difficult, where Israel has launched the big military operations against the people of Gaza.
Right.
My friend, my brother, I would like to confirm that until now, we have nearly 50 Palestinians who have been killed until this moment, and more than 300 have been wounded. Hundreds of houses and institutions have been also destroyed in the continuous airstrikes on Gaza Strip. So I would like also, yesterday, Israel has started destroying the high-rise residential buildings. Yesterday, there was 13-story residential building have been destroyed completely, meaning this means that at least 50 families which were living in this residential building. Now they become homeless, and there are at least until now we have 50 residential buildings have been destroyed completely here in Gaza. In addition to destruction of all the infrastructures, the roads, the electricity, the hospital, the schools. Yesterday they targeted schools of orphans. So situation here on the ground is very difficult for the people of Gaza. They are suffering now. Israel target everything walking on the ground.
Imam,
the vehicles, yeah.
Imam, you mentioned, you sent me images just before we went on air, and there was two of them, of course, that really just has brought tears to my eyes. The two little girls with bags, but there was one of a father and a son. I'm not so sure if it's a father and the son. There was one of a mother with a child. These images alone, and it's a pity I can't share it because it's from another news agency and copyright infringements and all of that. But if people look at those images, that is just scratching the surface of what is happening right now where you are.
Yes, my brother. Yes, my brother. The situation on the ground is deteriorating. I just confirmed from the ground here from Gaza. I'm now based in the hospital. There is no vehicles on the street because the drones, the Israeli drones, they target everything they're walking on the street. Before 1 hour, the Israel target vehicles, people they were getting for shopping to get their aid gifts for their children. The family have been killed completely. Also, the supplier of gas vehicles also has been attacked and has been killed. Yesterday also, children, and today also, there was attack on family here in Gaza. They destroyed all its buildings and all the family have been killed. We are speaking about child, father, mother, the sons, daughter, all the family have been killed today and yesterday, and also these airstrikes continue. Every second, there is airstrikes on Gaza.
Imam,
so imagine, yes.
No, sorry, I was going to say, Imam, what is your message to right here in South Africa, your message to the world if people are watching? Because aid needs to be given to Gaza. It's non-negotiable. But you're sitting in a hospital, healthcare is important, COVID-19 is still hitting Palestine quite hard. What do you want the world to hear from somebody who's on the ground, who is witnessing the attacks and the atrocities that are happening?
Yes, my message to the people of South Africa. I'm sure, my brother, and also I have been witness with myself to the donation and support of the people of South Africa to the people of Gaza. Because we always, since I was a child, I was recognizing the importance and the friendship between the country of South Africa and Palestine. It was historical relationship between these countries. But Alhamdulillah, also people of South Africa, they were always, during the previous years, were always supportive for the people. I have witnessed in the previous wars in 2008, 2009, 2012, and 2014 during the Israeli airstrikes and during the Israeli wars in Gaza, the South African people, they were the first people who respond to the emergency situation here in Gaza. My message to them, I ask you and I urge all of them to continue their support, to continue their funding to the people of Gaza. Now I'm inside the hospital, my brother. I'm inside this hospital. This hospital, you know, it lacks the most essential items to treat and care for the patients and for the injured and for the wounded. So my message to all of them to continue their giving, due support and due solidarity with the people of Gaza. I believe that people of South Africa always were in the front line defending and supporting the people of Gaza with the words, with the money, with the funds, with the donation, with the support, with the equipment which always they were giving and supplied to the people of Gaza. So, but today, from here, from Gaza, in these difficult times where we are suffering, where we are under attack here, where the airstrikes attacks every Palestinians walking on the street, inside your home, you are exposed to be targeted by the Israeli drones and Israeli F-16. So my message to all of them, to all the Muslims and to all South African people, you are in our heart because we believe that Palestine and Gaza in your hearts. So we ask you all to continue giving your support, you defending about the human rights here in Gaza.
No, shukran, Imam Ahmed, and our du'as and our thoughts and our hearts are always and will forever be with the people of Palestine. We say shukran to you, Imam. We will be making contact with you, inshallah, every day while the show is on, just to get an update. And please do take care. Please do take care of your family. Please do take care of the citizens of Gaza, because they are our brothers, they are our sisters, they are our fathers, mothers, and grandparents. So we ask you to please take care of them, and our du'as are there for you.
Jazakallah khair, brother. And you are always in our hearts and our dua.
No,
may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and all the viewers, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all the people of South Africa.
No, shukran. Barakallahu feekum, Imam Ahmed. And we will be keeping in touch with Imam Ahmed. And you could just hear it. They're shelling in a hospital. Can you believe it? But this is what the IDF is all about. They don't care. All they want to do is just destroy. They just want to take land which does not belong to them. Well, I would like to bring in my next guest. And this is an important guest that we are going to bring, because I don't know if you saw images on social media. There was a group calling themselves the South African Jews for a Free Palestine. Yes, there are Jews that are defending the Holy Land of Palestine. There are Jews that are defending, and they know what is right. They can tell what is right. And joining me via Zoom, I have Rina King, who is part of the organization. Rina, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us on.
No, it's an absolute pleasure, because I think, Rina, what we need to establish, there's two things. That Muslims and Jews are like cousins. We share our father Abraham, we share Jacob, we share Moses, we share all the prophets from the time of Abraham. And number two, Rina, I don't know whether you had family who experienced the torment and the suffering during the Holocaust at the hands of the Nazis. And you can see that nearly 70 years on, it is happening right there in Palestine. Why is it so important for this organization to be part and to stand side by side with those people who are fighting for the rights of Palestine?
Can I start with saying that Jews lived for hundreds of years under Muslim rule, and they actually flourished within that time of Muslim rule. Yes, my family, my grandmother and my grandfather came from Poland. My grandfather came with his two brothers. My grandmother's brother went to Palestine in the 1920s because they were fleeing attacks by people in Poland. And the rest of their family, their uncles, aunts, cousins, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, were killed during the Holocaust together. So there were 6 million people, Jews killed, together with Roma people, with gays, with people. And there were a lot of people killed during the Holocaust. And yes, that is the more puzzling part about what we're facing today in Israel, Palestine. How we're facing an oppressive state that is trying to really do ethnic cleansing. From the very beginning of the state in 1948, indigenous people from Palestine were driven off the land. 730,000 people driven off the land in months, which has resulted in more than 7.5 million refugees at this point in time. And that is called the Nakba. And the disaster, and that is continuing today with evictions, with trying to Judaicize Israel. That position was expressed by Ben-Gurion at the very beginning of the State of Israel, to say that we will slowly gain land. But it's the Israeli government that is settler colonialist, that is taking that land. And it's the Israeli government that, and a lot of these, and the majority of the Israeli people, that are part of this terrible, terrible, inhumane system of oppressing Palestinians in that region.
Rina, and I think what's important is that people need to differentiate between Zionism, because Zionism is, of course, the theory of Theodor Herzl, who created this theory and, of course, wanted a sort of right-wing nationalist movement of this theory of Zionism. And then, of course, there are the people of the Torah, the people who learned the book of Moses, the book that was given to Moses by God during the just right after the Exodus. And I think it's important, and maybe you can elaborate on that, why the two need to be differentiated, because there seems to be an ignorance among so many people that all Jews are the same. But when you look deeper into it, when you look into what's the difference between the two, how important is that?
So that is why we see ourselves as proudly Jewish. We are South African Jews for a free Palestine. And we see ourselves as centering the humanity of people. And that's what Judaism does. I think it's very similar to Islam, that we center humanity, we center kindness, we center our neighbor and charity and good working relationships and treating your fellow human being with dignity and with respect. And Zionism, as the poster says in the background, is Zionism is a menace to peace, because Zionism was set up as a settler colonialist project where it denies the people of the land equal rights. Now, that's not Jewish. There's nothing Jewish about that. That is the same as what apartheid was in South Africa. There's nothing Christian about that either. So there's nothing in religion that says that you have to dominate people. And the Zionists say, we want the land and we want it for the Jews. And that is completely abhorrent to hundreds of thousands of Jews throughout the world, if not millions of Jews. There's a huge organization in America that absolutely rejects the position of Zionists and the oppression of the Zionists that results in. And just the lack of humanity that is shown, they are so strong and the propaganda machine is so effective. I mean, I think it's very similar to South Africa, where some white people could turn around and say, well, we didn't know. But people live in different worlds. People do not understand the oppression that they are, although they go to the army all the time. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I think it's something that boggles the mind every single day, that there are people who choose to be this ignorant. And I see it in the social media posts when immediately, what we saw in Sheikh El Jarrah, immediately they'll say, well, Hamas fired rockets. And I think to myself, you're missing the point. Rina, before I let you go, what is the South African Jews for a Free Palestine? What is the next step? Because it needs to hit government hard. It needs to tell them, well, maybe now there needs to be some sort of boycott against Israel, because it seems as if its current sitting Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, will continue these atrocities until he feels that the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians has been complete.
Right. So absolutely, the boycott, sanctions, and divestment campaign, the BDS campaign, needs to be supported. It needs to be strengthened in South Africa. We need to take it to government. Government has to respond to this. And we need to, as a community and as South Africans, with trade unions, with community organizations, join forces to actually punish anybody supporting the state of Israel. It helped to overthrow the state in South Africa, and that's the only thing that's going to dent the state of Israel. They spend millions, hundreds of millions of dollars actually fighting BDS. They say that BDS is anti-Semitic. BDS is absolutely not anti-Semitic. BDS is really a gift to us Jews, that we can use a vehicle in order to fight an oppressive, settler, colonialist, Zionist state.
Rina, I'd like to thank you so much. We would like to have you again and your organization again on the show. We'd like to continue these communications because it's important to know that they are Jewish people, our cousins, the people of the book, that are willing to go ahead and support the struggle in Palestine. And we say thank you from the bottom of our hearts on behalf of Muslims, that you guys, there is an organization that is really willing to stand side by side with us as we continue the struggle.
Well, thank you, and all the best to the BDS campaign. The struggle continues.
No, thank you so much, Rina King. And I think what's important with that is Oskar Schindler. I don't know if you remember that name, but he was a German industrialist back in World War II who, of course, was a member of the Nazi Party, and he saved over 1,000 Jewish lives from the concentration camps of Auschwitz and so many others. And there was one saying that if you save a life of one, you save a life of humanity overall. And I think that's important. And the South African Jews for a Free Palestine are showing a very similar example in standing up and fighting for the rights of Palestinians. Well, stay tuned to AQSA is Calling. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back to AQSA is Calling. That was an absolutely inspirational discussion I just had now with Rina King from the South African Jews for a Free Palestine. And I think what's important there, again, as I mentioned before, is that we see that there are other groups besides Muslims and, of course, the previously disadvantaged Black Africans of South Africa and all the other disadvantaged groups that are coming out and are saying enough is enough, and the continuous oppression of Palestinians must come to an end. Well, I'm going to give you an opportunity at home to call us and just tell us, give us your views on what is happening on Palestine. This is your opportunity right over here. 010-054-5736. That is the number for you to go ahead and call us. And just, of course, tell us what you feel on the situation that is currently happening in Palestine. And I think it's very, very important that we allow people their opportunity at home to call us and just give us whatever it is that you want to say, even if it is a dua on air that you'd like to make, or if it is, of course, any other comment that you'd like to make with regards to that. And I think it's important that you at home make that comment right there and call in and tell us what you want to go ahead and say. So I think what was important, and I'm going to just obviously pick up from the discussions that we had earlier on, the one with Imam Ahmed, we've got hospitals, right? And these are hospitals that are meant to be caring for the patients. And we're not talking of just besides the injured that are coming from war, but any other sicknesses, because sicknesses do come and go. And these are the hospitals that are meant to be treating the patients. But unfortunately, it seems as if these hospitals are overburdened because of the continuous shelling and continuous bombing of the IDF. And unfortunately, there is no aid that is coming. And I think what's important, and we plead with the Muslim countries, that they need to start making an effort. They need to start sending aid. And I know there's a lot of NGOs that continue across the world that continue to go ahead and give aid with regards to helping the people of Palestine, but it needs governments, it needs the Arab nations, especially the Arab nations, the neighboring countries, to go ahead and send their aid. And we're pleading them as Muslims, as citizens of the world, to go ahead and make their contribution with regards to helping the people of Palestine. And you could just see the tension that currently Imam Ahmed obviously was experiencing at the time. I think that just shows that it is a situation where at any given moment something horrible could happen. You heard him saying that, massive story buildings are now starting to be bombed, and I think that is really important with regards to just showing how bad the situation truly is there in Gaza. And then, of course, I spoke to Rena King and their contributions with regards to that. And I think what's important is that, the South African Jews of right here could just say, you know what, we don't have to really go ahead and support, because we have a movement that wants, us as Jews to come to Israel and settle. But they're making such a difference. They're making such a huge difference in going ahead and just saying, you know what, we're going to stand up for rights, because we as Jews were a nation that was tortured, destroyed, mutilated during the time of Nazi Germany. And we see that in the images that are shown to us, of course, in recorded history of the 1930s and the 1940s, when the Nazis went into the likes of Poland, Lithuania, Belarus, and so many of the Eastern European nations, and absolutely just took the Jews and put them in the ghetto. And of course, if you see what the ghetto is about, there are images, of course, of that where people had to stay, 20, 30 people had to stay in one house. And it's not so different to what is happening, of course, in Palestine, where the refugee camps, are just so, they're unhygienic, they're unhealthy, and they're not worth living in because of the spaces that are there. And from the ghetto, they were shoved into the concentration camps. And that, for me, just showed that these are a group of people that feel the pain of the Palestinian people, that feel the hurt of the Palestinian people, and experience what they are experiencing. And we really have to applaud the South African Jews for a Free Palestine, that they are making that effort in trying to, in so many ways, help the people of Palestine. So again, I'm giving you an opportunity to call us 010-054-5736, to go ahead and call us, and of course just share with us your experience, share with us your feeling on with regards to what is happening in Palestine. Again, as I say, you want to make a dua, anything else, please do go ahead and call us, and there'll be just share with us what you are feeling right now with regards to the situation. Well, we do have a few minutes, and again, tomorrow, inshallah, could be Eid here in South Africa, could be on Friday, but we do know that Eid will be on tomorrow, Thursday, in the Middle Eastern region, and our hearts go out to the people of Palestine of what is going on, because they're going to wake up tomorrow for Eid, and unfortunately, they're going to be facing the same barrage. But what we have to admire of the Palestinian people is their spirit and their determination to make sure that does not get them, that their belief, their taqwa in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something that is absolutely huge and absolutely inspiring in how they are with regards to their religion, their iman, and their belief to go ahead and continue making namaz and keeping their spirit and the resistance alive even during these difficult times. Well, that's all I have for you here on AQSA is Calling. If it is tomorrow, I will not be seeing you for the show. If it is not tomorrow, then I will be seeing you, inshallah. But other than that, I will be seeing you again for more on AQSA is Calling, as we continue to try our best to bring you from the ground and other organizations within South Africa with regards to what is happening in Palestine, our land, our holy land, and of course defending our Haram, Masjid al-Aqsa. From myself, Faraz Patel, and the rest of the production team, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.